Alright, now today's video we're going to go over Spc Upper Control Arms, because from the factory G35s and 350Zs do not have adjustable camber, and unfortunately this is what happens to your tires. So now that I've lowered the car, it's gotten even worse with the KW V3s. So I installed the Coilovers, the KW V3s for Christmas to myself. That was back in December. So it's now September. It's been 9 months, and that's how quickly the inside of this tire. This is a 40,000 mile tire. See the DWS on it? That means dry, wet, and snow. And as those wear away, it tells you like it has no snow traction, has no wet traction, then it has no dry traction. The reason I got these instead of usually getting a 200 tread wear tire is because of the warranty. I'm tired of replacing tires every 10-15,000 miles with no warranty. At least these will get prorated because these tires are very expensive. Alright, these tires just give you an idea of how much these things cost. These are 255s. So just for a set of front two tires, it's $573. So just for two tires on the front. These aren't even the fat tires on the back, which are 285s. These are the 255, 35, 19s. They're $573, which is close to 600 bucks. So these tires are about close to almost 2 years old, and they have 20,000 miles on them, which is still better than normal. But ever since I've gotten the suspension, just about 9 months ago, I can see the wear's really increased on the inside. So I'm finally decided to get adjustable camber arms by Spc, which is a really good solution. These brand new are about 500 bucks. Is the best price you find these for on eBay. I ended up picking up a used set for about $270, which I think is a smoking good deal.
And what do you see?
This is the OEM upper control arm, which is non-adjustable. So the first step to removing it is we're going to remove these bolts right here, which are 14 millimeter. There's one on this side, and then there's one right over here. So before doing that, you want to use a bungee cord to stabilize this right here. So when you pull out this actual nut, it doesn't put stress on any of the ABS lines or brake lines that go here into your strut assembly or your coilover, such as these. These are KW V3s. Alright, take a needle nose pliers and go ahead and remove this cotter pin. And go ahead and get started here. This takes a 16 millimeter socket to take this nut off. Hit this with a hammer and knock this loose, just lightly. Then go ahead and after you screw this bolt out, which you can see I've already got out, over here we're going to take this one out. And it'll make... Alright. I thought it was smooth sailing here, so I already went ahead and pulled that nut out. It looks like no matter what I do, this nut is going to hit the spring. So I could loosen the collar, but then I'd have to remember where I adjusted it. So I'm going to take a jack and jack up a little bit so it goes a little past that and I can yank that out and I should be fine. Well, the jack idea didn't work, so it looks like I'm going to have to oil the coilover. So here's where this video camera comes in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and do this so I can make sure I have exactly the right measurement from the perch, which is 2 inches is what I got. So we can adjust the height, this tool right here. Since that bolt won't pull out, I'm going to have to lower it. So we'll take this tool right here and we're going to lower the perch. Since we already measured it, we know 2 inches is exactly to get it back where I like it, which is 2-finger wheel gap. Alright, after lowering the coil over, I got it low enough I can get this bolt out to get this upper control arm out. So when you get these Spc arms, if you look on them, they actually will tell you which one's left and which one's right. You want to make sure you pay attention to that because they are different. So the left goes on the driver's side. The Spc upper control arm, this is a new revised version. You know you have the older version if it has the actual like red ball on it, you'll be able to see it. It's part number 72123, or sorry, 125. 123 is the actual new revised version. And this is actually a lot lighter than this. So you can tell these are really beefy and made to be able to take a lot of abuse. And the difference in design between the 123s and 125s, the 125s are the older ones, the 123s are new, which is this one, is it's a single tubular design, and they're 20% lighter and stronger. So as you can see, I was able to go ahead and get this upper control arm in. You're going to need to take this bushing and remove it from your old assembly. This right here. And since I bought these used, he already has it on there, so I didn't have to buy the pullers and remove it. But I'll go ahead and show you how to do that right now in this video, right here.
Using a small puller, such as the part number 8370, remove the tapered sleeve from the ball joint end.
So once I got this installed, now that I had to unfortunately take the coilover and move it down a little bit to get the springs, so I was able to get these bolts to be able to come through without hitting the actual spring. So next time I adjusted the spring, so I turned it, so next time the coil lines up differently in line so it won't hit. Now I know what they mean when they say you might have to remove the strut or coilover and you may not. It all depends on where the spring is actually setting in its coil, if it'll get in the gap or not, and it just depends on luck. I luckily was able to get this side out but not that side, so I had to lower this whole assembly, and I got this perched exactly back to 2 inches where it needs to be at, and we should be all set. So the next step is we're gonna have to go ahead and get these back to spec, and spec is right here if you're curious. So spec is, it looks like on the upper control arm is 52 pound-feet, and then the nut, you're gonna have to put a cotter pen in it, 43 pound-feet. Okay, SPC says you do not snug these all the way up. You're snug these up finger tight first before getting them to the 52 pound-feet of torque. So once you do them finger tight, then you go ahead and we're gonna snap this down into place, and we're gonna put this nut on here. But once that is done, you're going to take a jack and you're going to press up on this and raise the suspension a little bit to take the load off of this upper control arm, and then you're going to tighten these down to 52 pound-feet. So we got the nut back on with the cotter pin in it, and to make sure the perch is exactly where it needs to be, there you go. So I lined it back up exactly to 2 inches, which is the max ride height on the perch for the KW V3s, which will give me a 2-finger wheel gap. SPC recommends taking the tension off the upper control arms when tightening the bolts to the recommended spec of 52 pound-feet. So go ahead and take your jack, put a little tension on it. Now is the proper time to go ahead and finish tightening the bolts in the upper control arm to 52 pound-feet. This will finish the install of the SPC upper control arms. Here they are installed. The new revised version, the 72 123s. So obviously after you get these installed, you're going to need to go and get your car realigned. And once you get realigned, since from the factory you're not able to adjust camber on the very front, and the negative camber always eats out the tires, this will solve that issue. So your tires will last a lot longer, and your car will actually have better contact patch to the road. So that'll do it for today's video. Go ahead, feel free to leave some comments down there if you have any questions, and please subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of content on the G35 since I've got a new camera. I've really been uploading, and I'm going to continue. See you guys next video.
Jesus, Tyler.
Motordyne, she don't want to play around.